Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call today. Hemangi Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start Mataji.
Dear Guruji, thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 38, text 22 to 43. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nastaprayesu Apatresu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhakti Nastiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Text 22. The Supreme Lord has no favorite and no dearmost friend, nor does he consider anyone undesirable, despicable, or fit to be neglected. All
Hare
the
Krishna
same.
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu?
Oh, 22, right, today? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
22 to
Continue,
40.
Mataji.
Sorry. All the same, he lovingly reciprocates with his devotees in whatever manner they worship him, just as the trees of heaven fulfill the desire of whoever approaches them. And then Lord Krishna's elder brother, the foremost of the Yadus, will grasp my joined hands while I am still standing with my head bowed. And after embracing me, he will take me to his house. There he will honor me with all items of ritual welcome and inquire me about how Kamsa has been treating his family members. Sukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, while the son of Swapalka, traveling on the road, thus meditated deeply on Sri Krishna. He reached Gokula as the sun was beginning to set. In the cowherd pasture, Akrura saw the footprint of those feet whose pure dust the ruler of all the planets in the universe hold on their crowns. Those footprints of the Lord, distinguished by such marks as the lotus, barleycorn, and elephant gold, made the ground wonderfully beautiful. Increasingly agitated by ecstasy at seeing the Lord's footprint in his bodily hairs standing on end because of his pure love, and his eyes filled with tears, Akrura jumped down from his chariot and began rolling about among those footprints, exclaiming, Ah, this is the dust from my master's feet. The very goal of life for all embodied beings is this ecstasy, which Akrura experienced when, upon receiving Kamsa order, he put aside all pride, fear, and lamentation, and absorbed himself in seeing, hearing, and describing the things that reminded him of Lord Krishna. Text 28 to 33. Akrura then saw Krishna and Balram in the village of Braja going to milk the cows. Krishna wore yellow garments, Balram blue, and their eyes resembled autumnal lotuses. One of those two mighty armed youths, the shelter of the goddess of fortune, had a dark blue complexion, and the others was white. With their fine featured faces, they were the most beautiful of all persons. As they walked with the gait of a young elephant, glancing about with compassionate smile, those two exalted personalities beautified the cow pasture with the impression of their feet, which bore the marks of the flag, lightning bolt, elephant goad, and lotus. The two lords whose pastimes were most magnanimous and attractive were ornamented with jeweled necklaces and flower garlands, anointed with auspicious fragrant substances, freshly bathed, and dressed in spotless raiment. They were the primeval Supreme Personality, the masters and original causes of the universes, who had for the welfare of the earth now descended in their distinct forms of Kesava and Balaram. O King Parikshit, they resembled two gold-bedecked mountains, one of emerald and other of silver. As with their effulgence they dispelled the sky's darkness in all directions. Akrura, overwhelmed with affection, quickly jumped down from his chariot and fell at the feet of Krishna and Balaram like a rod. Text 35. The joy of seeing the Supreme Lord flooded Akrura's eye with tears and decorated his limbs with the eruption of ecstasy. He felt such eagerness that he could not speak to present himself, O king. Recognizing Akrura, Lord Krishna drew him close with his hand, which bears the sign of the chariot wheel, and then embraced him. Krishna felt pleased, for he is always beingly disposed toward his surrendered devotees. As Akrura stood with his head bowed, Lord Sankarsana Balaram grasped his joint hands, and then Balaram took him to his house in the company of Lord Krishna. After inquiring from Akrura whether his trip had been comfortable, Balaram offered him a first-class seat, bathed his feet in accordance with the injunction of scriptures, and respectfully served him milk with honey. The Almighty Lord Balaram presented Akrura with the gift of a cow, massaged his feet to relieve him of fatigue, and then with great respect and fed, fed him suitably prepared food of various fine tastes. When Akrura had eaten to his satisfaction, Lord Balarama, the supreme knower of religious duties, offered him aromatic herbs for sweetening his mouth, along with fragrance and flower garlands. Thus Akrura once again enjoyed the highest pleasure. Nanda Maharaj asked Akrura, O descendant of Dasara, how are all of you maintaining yourself while that merciless Kamsa remains alive? You are just like sheep under the care of a butcher. Text 42. That cruel self-serving Kamsa murdered the infant of his own sister in our presence, even as she cried in anguish. So why should we even ask about the well-being of you, his subjects? Honored by Nanda Maharaj with this true and pleasing word of inquiry, Akrura forget the fatigue of his journey. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
And thank you so much, Hemang Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please accept my humble obeisances, Sri Krishna Prabhuji. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Guru Marshal Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Sundaran Prabhu. Thank you, Hemangi Mataji, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam today. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वैराग्यविद्या निजभक्तियोगं शिक्षाष्टमेकं पुरुषपुराणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यशरीरधारी कृपाम्बुदिर्तमहं प्रपद्ये हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घेते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So in this section, after being ordered by Kamsa to go to Vrindavan and invite Krishna and Balram to Mathura. So now in this chapter, we can see in the last chapter, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, he basically kills Keshi demon and Vyomasura. And after that, now Sukadeva Goswami is elaborating how now Krishna has concluded his pastimes in Vrindavan. Now Akrura is being sent by Kamsa to invite him to Mathura. So here in this section, we can see between Mathura and Vrindavan, it's not a lot of distance. It's basically, if you look at it right now, it's about 14, it says 14 kilometers, something like that. So, but Akrura takes the whole day to travel. Basically, he reaches only after sunset, close to sunset. He starts in the morning. So he's basically the whole one of the purports, Sridhar Swami says that Akrura is not even looking at the road. So he was completely on trance. He was meditating upon Krishna and Balram and also meeting them, meeting Nanda Maharaj. So like that, he was completely in ecstasy. And on the way, he's also witnessing Krishna's lotus feet, footprints, and upon seeing that, he falls into ecstasy. He even rolls on the ground. So all of the ecstatic symptoms of an exalted devotee he manifests. So, so in this chapter, as we are going along, even before meeting Krishna and Balram, Akrura is basically just in thought of how he's going to go to Vrindavan, how he's going to see the Lord, Krishna and Balram, their majestic appearance, how he is going to be received by the lordships, and then later on, the Lord will be actually so, so if you imagine Akrura's situation, it's really bad because he's being sent to Vrindavan to invite Krishna, and Kamsa also reveals everything. He reveals the whole plan. Oh, you have to bring Krishna here, and there is going to be Kuvalaya Pida on the gate that is going to attack Krishna. If Krishna is not, Kuvalaya Pida cannot actually kill Krishna, then there's going to be Chanura and Mushtika who's going to fight. He reveals the whole plan. So now Akrura was one side, he was feeling very much obliged as a duty bound. The king has ordered he has to go. And the other side, he's feeling that he's doing something really bad. So but he knows for sure that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and nothing can actually happen to Krishna, even though he's in the mood of devotee who likes to be um, look after the welfare of the Lord, but he understands that the Lord is very powerful and there is nothing is going to happen. And on the other side, he is also considering that how would the Lordship consider this, because he is inviting on behalf of Kamsa, how would he receive? And then he concludes himself saying that, the Lord does not actually look into these considerations. He would be receiving me very nicely. He would welcome me nicely, like that. So surprisingly, you would also see after hearing the whole plan, Krishna and Balram, they will laugh. Even Nanda Maharaj also would not take seriously. All of this. Um, so the Nanda Maharaj, in fact, actually Nanda Maharaj considers this like a festival. Oh, Kamsa is invited. Let us all go. Let's take all the milk products and let's do festival in Mathura. This that was the mood Nanda Maharaj also carried that time. So in a way, Akrura he was feeling very fortunate that even though Kamsa was ordering him to do such a cruel thing, but he was actually ordering him to visit Supreme Lord. So who would not actually take this opportunity like that? So now he goes on to meet Lord Krishna and Balram. So starting from verse number 28, so this is in between the verses where Akrura was meditating. So in this whole chapter, if you look at it, he starts meditating, and then how um, how he would actually bow down to Krishna's lotus feet, and he was meditating on the lotus feet, just like if you go to temple. I think most of you have been visiting temple for many years. So sometimes you can, sitting at home, you can actually imagine, okay, I'm entering into the temple, I'm just paying obeisances to Srila Prabhupada's Murti, and then I'm waking up, I'm looking at the altar, I'm just going in front of Gaur Nitai Gaur Sundaran. I'm just looking at the beautiful altar and then paying obeisances. The lordships are decorated in such a beautiful outfit. So like that, you can also meditate. It is actually very much in alignment with Shastra. That Shastra actually says that you can in fact think about pastimes of the Lord. You can meditate, you can think about some activities that is in relation to the lordships, like doing some service. So even by thought, you can also do some service also. That is also considered purification. So in this case, Akrura being an exalted devotee, he is basically, even before reaching Vrindavan, he is contemplating everything, which is considered actually a perfect devotion. Now, so now Akrura is, as he was contemplating, he was now contemplating upon the Lord's wonderful qualities of Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. So Lord actually never considers anyone as his enemy, or never considers anyone as a friend to him. He's always equal. He's never partial to anyone. So from that perspective, Akrura was thinking that he is going to be lovingly reciprocating. It doesn't matter. I've been sent by Kamsa, but just like he's giving an example here. So just as the trees of heaven fulfill the desires of whoever approaches them. So Krishna is, so basically he is concluding that Krishna is going to be lovingly reciprocating, because I have this loving nature that I'm going to reciprocate with the Lord. So even though he's carrying the orders of Kamsa, but his mood is completely surrendered to the Lord. He is very loving. So that was his contemplation. And then he was also contemplating upon how Balram is going to receive Akrura, and so here we can see that whenever a guest comes to the home, how the lordships receive. We can see a good example, ideal example here. How Krishna receives the guests. In this case, you will see in the coming verses that whatever Akrura was meditating upon, all of this is actually becomes factual. So Lord Krishna basically takes his hand, he invites his to his home, and then Balram massages his feet. All of this is factually they're receiving Akrura in the same way that he was meditating upon. And as soon as he saw the lordships, he fell like a rod. It was mentioned he fell like a danda, like a rod. So he had so much awe and reverence, so much bhakti, so much mood of surrender. So here Sukadeva Goswami continues. So Akrura was basically he was in the Kashi dynasty. He was born in the Kashi dynasty. He was son of Swapalka. So he was born. So to son of Swapalka and Gandhini, she was a daughter of the king of Kashi. so so here, if you Sukadeva Goswami is also here is touching upon, um, while the son of Swapalka traveling on the road thus deeply meditating on Krishna, he reached Gokula as the sun was beginning to set. so so now, as he was meditating, the he reached Gokula just about the sun is about beginning to set. So now Sridhar Swami, I was saying like before also, the Sridhar Swami comments here that he did not even notice the road. He was deeply absorbed in meditation of Lord Krishna. He still reached Gokula on his chariot. So another lesson we can take here is, you know, um, so he was basically one who performs bhakti in his life. And all of Prabhupada used to mention all of the other activities would automatically be taken care. So here, he was on the road, he was driving, he was completely meditating upon Lord Krishna. He still reached his destination. So now Padani Tashya Kila Lokapala Kirita Justa Malapada Reno. So now at this time, he reached Vrindavan. So in the Vrindavan, Lord Krishna actually goes around the cowherd pastures. He walks barefoot. So a lot of Krishna's footprints are there in Vrindavan. Now Akrura saw one of those footprints of Lord Krishna. So Padani Tashya Akila Loka Pala. So one who actually rules the entire planet. So his footprints Akrura saw. Um, and then it is said here, Dadarsha Gosta Shiti uh, Kautukani Vilakshitani Abja Yavani Kushadyayi. So here it says that footprints, it has special marks. So it has a Vilakshitani, distinguishable marks. It had Abja, lotus. It had Yava, barley corn, and Ankusha, elephant goad. So like that, there was wonderful special marks, and that Akrura was seeing. So as soon as he saw this, he fell into ecstasy. So here it is mentioned, Tad darshana ahlada vivrada sambramaha premna urdhava roma. So sambrama means he got agitated out of love, premna, and then urdhava roma, like all of his hairs were standing on the body, and then asrukala akula ikshanaha. So his eyes, there was so much tears that were pouring from his eyes, and so now, so Akrura now, after this feeling of tears coming from his eyes and his hairs were standing on end, so he just jumped from the chariot and started rolling on the footprints of Krishna. And he was saying, Prabhur Amuni Angri Rajamshi Aho iti. So he was saying, Oh Prabhu, this is your dust, of my master's feet, like that he was saying. And then he was rolling on the ground. So this is the mood. Even devotees who visit to Vrindavan, they also take the Krishna's dust and put it on the head. And also some devotees, they roll on the dust of the Vraj. It's so here Akrura, he was experiencing the symptoms of ecstasy. So one of the symptoms of ecstasy is the tears rolling from eyes and hairs body, standing on the body, on the skin. So these are the symptoms of ecstasy. That there are actually six symptoms. So these two Akrura was experiencing. And then he was contemplating on, he was that how he has achieved the very goal of life. So here actually this is a comment from Sukadeva Goswami. So here it's saying deham brutam iyam artho hitva dambam biyam sucham. So here the very goal of life for all embodied beings is this ecstasy which Akrura experienced. So now we can see in one of the lectures, Radha Govind Maharaj also said, a lot of living beings, think that there is so much suffering in the material world, but one has to experience the highest bliss in bhakti. That is actually the real purpose of creation, not suffering. So he was mentioning that one has to come to this point of experiencing this ecstasy in relation to the Supreme Lord, which Akrura is also experiencing. So now Akrura had so many things that in his family situation right now Kamsa is sending. He could have thought, oh, what would happen to my family? Kamsa is very cruel. He's there's so many things were going on, like but Akrura basically put aside all the fear, all lamentation, everything. He just observed completely in the lordships, just hearing and seeing and describing the things around him that reminded of Lord Krishna. So we are also, like, as living entities, we have so many family duties. We are also surrounded by a lot of day-to-day activities. But still, if we take up like the hearing and chanting to our heart, and every day we, as we progress in bhakti, we also take it seriously, then we can also experience what Akrura is experiencing. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says that he gave up fear by openly showing his love and reverence for Krishna. So this is how we can give up fear. It was said that the fear is the most difficult thing to give up. The fear of death, and that particular is the most difficult thing. Only one becomes very advanced, he is able to give. So, but here Akrura is just gave it up by showing his love and reverence for Krishna, even though his family members might have been punished by angry Kamsa. So he didn't really. So here, um, Akrura just gave up his. He is also born in a very aristocratic family. He gave up his pride, and he worshipped the cowherd resident of simple village of Vrindavan. So he was basically adoring the cowherd men in the Vrindavan, so much so that they were so fortunate to be in close association of Lord Krishna. So all these were all basically the credits of Akrura, how he gave up his lamentation for his house, wife, family. They were all in danger because of King Kamsa. So now giving up all this, he starts rolling on the dust of lotus feet of Lord Krishna here. So going further, then Akrura was um, he now Akrura, as he was entering, he saw Krishna and Balram in the Vraja. Now they are actually about to milk the cows. In the village they milk the cows once in the morning and once in the evening. So now Krishna and Balram, they were about to milk the cows. They were wearing the yellow garments. So here, similar to what is mentioned by Bhishma Dev in the Vishnu Shastranam, it was very beautifully. They were wearing pitambara, so the yellow garments, and their eyes were like just like lotus flowers, lotuses, and they are very beautiful. And so the Lord Krishna had uh, dark blue complexion, and the Balram had a white complexion. This. So here it is mentioned how their lotus feet, they had a specific marks, and how beautifully Lord was actually very perfectly decorated with flower garlands, and they resemble like just like two golden bedecked mountains. So here, so now Akrura, as he was overwhelmed by affection, he immediately jumped on his chariot. He fell at the lotus feet of Krishna and Balram just like a rod. So now here the exchange of emotions between Akrura, Lord Krishna and Balram, and Nanda Maharaj, we can see, like I said before, he was coming. The Lord is Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, because Akrura is carrying a message of Kamsa. Kamsa has sent so many demons to kill Krishna. He was causing so much disturbance in Vrindavan. So ideally, if you look at it from human emotional perspective, this is not a good situation. But the Lord is completely, he is Bhakta Vakshala. He does not, whatever mood we carry, he reciprocates accordingly. So here Akrura is completely, he doesn't have any inner motivation. He completely surrendered to Krishna. He just came to basically take association with Lord Krishna, and as a messenger, he just. So now we can see there's so much joy that Akrura is experiencing, and as soon as he, again he was feeling the same kind of ecstasy while that was he experienced when he was seeing the Krishna's lotus footprints. The same ecstasy. There was no difference. So that's why acharyas say that we can associate with Lord Krishna by hearing about his pastimes, by meditating, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, by all of this bhakti we can actually associate with the Lord Krishna. So here The same again, Akrura's limbs of eruptions with ecstasy and his eyes with tears. He could not speak. This is one of the symptoms of ecstasy, like his voice will falter. So all of these symptoms again Akrura is experiencing. So going forward, like Akrura was received with Krishna embraces him, and then Balram receives him, and then Balram even massages his feet, and he washes his feet and massages his feet, and eventually Nanda Maharaj they also give several gifts to Akrura. The gift of a cow is mentioned here. So now in the Vedic culture, this is a culture they actually gift a cow. So now when Akrura also they were was fed so many wonderful dishes, and also at the end, like you can see that it is mentioned that Pan was given, like aromatic herbs was sweetening his mouth. So this is at the end of the feast. He had nice Pan, and again Akrura was basically enjoying the main thing here is he was enjoying the company of Lord Krishna and Balram. So they were giving exclusive time to Akrura. So now after all this, now Nanda Maharaj is also asking is about the situation in Mathura, how everyone is being maintained, by Kamsa, since Kamsa is ruling, how is that everyone is maintaining themselves. So now Nanda Maharaj is deeply worried about their welfare. So, so here, Nanda Maharaj also disclosing how Kamsa murdered all of the brothers of Lord Krishna and sister in her presence, even if she was so much in deep sorrow. So this chapter is concluding by Nanda Maharaj is asking these questions, and then Akrura basically, it was mentioned that he forgot the fatigue of his journey. So we can see in this beautiful section how there were several lessons we can take. How Akrura was meditating on the Lord, and how Nanda Maharaj, Lord Krishna and Balram were receiving Akrura. How the footprints of the Lord Krishna, the same ecstasy Akrura was feeling. So this is called Tadiya. Like whenever we see something in relation to the Lord, we can actually remember the Lord. We can feel the same kind of emotions and feelings, just like when we are actually with the Lord. These are some lessons that we can take. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you very much,
Krishna.
devotees.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, as usual, great way of
Hare Krishna.
explaining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sri Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.